Hi guys, Máté here. So I'm really excited to start this series too, just like I'm excited about everything what I do. So I'm going to show you how you can build your own synthesizer using a Teensy. You could also use an Arduino, but I would talk about it a little bit more later, why I picked a Teensy. So yeah, you see everything on my desk, what you're going to need to build it. And yeah, as you can see, I already have one, which we built with my friends in university. And yeah, I'm going to try to make it a little bit better, like a 2.0 version. So yeah, let's get started. In this episode, I'm going to show you what you are going to need and what you have to buy to build it. One of the most important elements you're going to need is the Teensy 4.0, or what we are going to use in our project is the 4.1. So I can show it here, I can show it here too. So the Teensy 4.1 is the better choice for this project because we are going to need more pins. And I did my first Modulo 4 with the 4.0 version, but I had to use the so-called multiplexers, which enable you to get some more pins, but it's still not a really good solution. I will talk about it later too, once we get to that point. But for this one, you're going to need the 4.1 version, so the bigger one. What you're also going to need is this boy here. It's the display, the heart of the whole thing. It's called the TFT ILI9341. Yeah, you are going to need a 2.8 inch version, not the small one. You can take the small one too, but because it's the heart of the whole system or the whole synthesizer, I would really recommend you to get the bigger one. You are also going to need the audio shield. The audio shield is there to solder it together with the Teensy, and once you have it, then they can communicate between each other. Yeah, you are also going to need this cable. It's a USB-C, I guess, or micro USB, I guess. Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, or I will write it there. So yeah, and then the fun part is the knobs. So you can pick your knobs. So it doesn't really matter which one you take. As you see, I have those knobs here. Yeah, you also need some of those ones from the buttons. Yeah, you are also going to need the soldering iron here, and I have also a power station to it, but I mean there are millions of soldering irons for like 10 euros, so it's not really expensive. You will also get this small pen to the display, so you don't have to buy it. You will get it too. It's more of an optional stuff, the sponge for your soldering iron, so that you can kind of rub off the soldering tin. And yeah, here is the soldering tin, which you are really going to need, or you can solder anything. Then the heat shrink tube. It's really important too. It's not that expensive. It's, there are 100 pieces in a box, and I think they cost like 5 euros, so that's alright. And you need it so when you solder two cables together, then you can just put it on them so that you have it isolated, and then you can just take a lighter, heat it up, and it shrinks together. So yeah, and what you're also going to need is some breadboards. They are really important. They are shitty because once you get to a point where your project gets bigger, it's going to be a little bit disgusting, and some of the cables are not going to be in the holes deep enough, so there's not going to be a connection, which is a little bit shitty if you are kind of troubleshooting all the time and you don't know why your stuff is not working. You can, I mean, it's optional stuff, but I really like to take this one too. Those are jumper cables. Like, you need those kind of jumper cables, but the optional stuff is this one, because one of the sides, both of the sides are holes, so they are like for the inputs, not outputs. And it's really nice to have it because you can connect it to the pins of the display, And once you have it, you can just put one of those together with this one and this one to the display, and you don't have to solder everything or just force it into your breadboard. You can do it, but it makes your life a little bit more difficult if you build it. So I wouldn't really recommend that. Yeah, I mean, more of the optional stuff is this third arm. I think that's the name of it in English too, which you can use to put two cables here so that you can solder them a little bit more easily. Yeah, you are going to need this piece here. I think it's called a PCB, and you need that so that you can solder everything together once you have the first project version on your breadboard, because the breadboard is a little bit wacky. So when you are done, you just you can just write down where you connected the cables, and then you can just solder it to this one, and it's way better. You are also going to get this tiny paper where you can see where all the pins are and which input they have or output. You can actually get these boxes for like €4, and it's actually for nail extensions, but they're really nice to store stuff like this too. So in one of them I have all of my caps for the knobs here. There are even some tinier ones. Then I have some more jumper cables, which are, I don't like this one too much, and also they are really tiny, so I wouldn't recommend getting too tiny ones. This is really important too, I almost forgot it. It's the potentiometer. You are going to need potentiometers with, this one is 25K, but you can take one with 1 or 2 kilo ohm too. It doesn't really matter once it has a higher value than 1 kilo ohm. So you are going to need plenty of those, and some knobs, the ones which jump back, not the ones which stay at the bottom once you press on them. And you are also going to need some fancy LEDs. They are really nice. You can take any color. You can take yellow, black, maybe not black, but any color you want, so you don't have to take the red ones. And something which makes your life a little bit easier, and I didn't have it at the first time, is this one. It's a double isolator. I'm not sure about the name, but I'm going to include a link so you can buy it. And you need it so that you can connect your Teensy with the audio shield at the bottom, and you can solder it together, and that way you can still press it into your breadboard. Because if you do it without that, then it's just too close to the breadboard, and you can't put any cables in there, so it's a little bit a pain in the ass. So you need more breadboards, and then the connection is wackier, so don't do it. And yeah, there are some more sockets too, which you can put at the bottom of the Teensy, so that you have a higher distance between breadboard and the Teensy. And yes, that's actually everything you're going to need. For the software side, what you're going to do on the computer, you need Visual Studio Code, and you can also use the IDE for Arduino or Teensy. It's called Teensy Duino, but Visual Studio Code is just, it's nicer, so I would really recommend you to use that. I'm going to show in the next video how you can install it and what you're going to need, and that's actually all you need. So I'm really looking forward to build it together with you one more time. And yeah, so I almost forget to show you this piece of gear, what you're going to need if you are not so happy with the soldering you just did. You can just put it at the point where you soldered, and then once you have it, you can press it in, just hold it on it and press this button. And then it sucks out all the tin which you had at this place. So yeah, that's all you're going to need. And yeah, I'm really excited and happy to see and read what you write about the videos, and feel free to ask anything. I love to help people. And yeah, see you soon. Bye. Have a good day.